So, what's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And I have just been handling my business, but I've also been wanting to scream. I have now joined the club of buy now, pay later for groceries, for food.
Tell me how I'm supposed to make it in today's economy. Bro, shit's so high, you can't, it's hard to go grocery shopping. I mean, you go in the store with say $300. You ain't coming out with much.
So let me remind y'all, I did recently have emergency surgery where they removed my gallbladder. For that, you have about a week to 2 weeks out of out of work if you have a job for that procedure. So that's what happened. So now I'm sitting here with no check, no money. For some reason, they're not wanting to give me my short-term disability that I pay for. And then the check prior to that was short because I had to take time off of work because one of my kids had some kind of doctory type of stuff. I can't remember which kid or what it was. So we just been on that little struggle bus, and it's like you start going. Things seem to be good or solid, and then oop, there goes a hill, and you're like, bam, we're back at the beginning. Now we gotta climb another hill and start over. Now the other day I bought some groceries and I spent literally $57, and I had four items. Four items for damn near $60.
Hey, I don't give a damn what nobody say. It has never been this expensive to live. Ever. Like, in no era when motherfuckers was making $1 an hour, it was never this expensive to live. Like, you walk in the store, you get three things, you at fucking $65. Obviously, I just went, grocery shopping, so I'm venting.
And that's the crazy thing about it is if listen, I know people personally to me, and then I've also have heard of a bunch of people like online. If you watch any type of YouTube, TikTok, there's gonna be people talking about themselves or people that they know that's having to basically buy groceries on credit to be able to eat. And you know what? Food is a necessity. It's not a want, it's a need. You have to eat to survive. Now, yes, the type of food that you buy can be considered a want. You don't need fast food and you don't need potato chips or whatever, but just in general to eat, you have to have food. So no matter what kind of food you're buying, it's still expensive.
When people are using buy now, pay later for groceries, it should be a warning sign that bad things are coming in the economy if they haven't already started. So the latest numbers on buy now, pay later are genuinely alarming. Over half of Americans have used the service before. 22% have used it 6 or more times within the past year. And more people are using it for essential items like groceries instead of splurges. So if you are staring at a deep refrigerator, you have a family to feed, splitting $200 of groceries into 4 easy payments of $50 feels like a solution rather than what it actually is, which is high interest debt for consumable goods.
Okay, so let me tell you, in that $60, pretty much, we're rounding up here, little order that I made, I was like, okay, let's think of some cheap meal ideas. What's always been cheap since 1995? Hamburger Helper. You buy 1 pound of meat, 1 pound of hamburger meat, and if you buy 2 boxes of any Hamburger Helper dish that you want, you're looking at, to feed about 3 people, it's going to feed about 3 people, because that's what I'm feeding. It's like $10 a meal. So Hamburger Helper is still cheaper than fast food or what have you, but still, $10 to feed your family 1 meal. If you want to do the math, I'm not doing it today, but you can multiply 10 by 5 days a week. I guess you're going to skip dinner Saturday and Sunday. That's $50 right there. So $70 to feed a family of 3 Hamburger Helper for dinner a week.
I just walked into the grocery store with $100 and I walked out with 35 cents and 2 bags of food. No meat, no snacks, no toilet paper to wipe my ass with, and a reminder that inflation is undefeated. At this point, I'm thinking about growing my own food, which is crazy to say because I don't even water my own plants.
So yes, groceries are god awful expensive. It's getting harder and harder to be able to afford to feed your family even if you have a job. And so that's why a lot of people are resorting to using credit-based services to buy their groceries, putting food on layaway. And I think a lot of people at this point realize that with credit and, say, for instance, putting stuff on layaway, even if it's, tomatoes on layaway, that if you can afford the tomatoes for your sandwich today, what really makes you think you're going to be able to afford them in a week, in a month, 2 weeks from now, whatever your payment is? You know what I'm saying? For your credit. And I know people are buying more than just a tomato, but the point is people are having to credit their groceries that they already can afford now, and they're still going to have to eat once that payment hits. So it's like, how are you funding your groceries if you're already so down and out that you are having to buy now, pay later? What are you going to do next month? You're going to make that payment, and then what? How are you going to buy the groceries for that month? And I seen a video where somebody was talking about a person wanting to get like a home loan, but they had to report that this said individual had like 50 buy now pay later payments coming out of their income a month. And I'm like, that is crazy, because if anything, everything ever eventually settles down, people are going to be so far in debt and so bad off for just trying to afford to feed themselves. Like, can you imagine you have to file bankruptcy because you were putting food on layaway? Food. Not a TV, not a game system, not a new lawnmower, but your food. Your dinner. What you feed your children. That baby food on layaway. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this, touch on this again, because I am right now relying on what I already have in my house. That's not really why I was stocking up. I mean, I knew there was something wrong with me, but I didn't know I was going to have emergency surgery. But just in case of an instance like that or something else, that's why I try to make sure I stock up on things, because you never know when you're going to need to buckle down and actually use those items. So that's what I'm relying on now, until like my income starts to line back out. Hopefully that'll be soon. But yes, if you are one of those people that is struggling to afford groceries, if you're putting yourself way in debt to put food on layaway, just know that you're not the only person that's having to do that. The struggle is real out here for a lot of people, and a lot of people are sinking further into debt and to struggle just to get by. So it's not just you, but hopefully everything gets better for everybody real soon.